The challenge? No human expected. The arena lights flashed like burning suns as Aiden Cole stepped forward. He was the only human in a stadium filled with alien warriors. Alien nobles and alien soldiers, every seat was packed. Every creature excited to see something strange. A human challenger, a weak creature from a soft world. A species known only for running, hiding, and losing. Aiden walked slowly, calm, quiet, almost too normal to be in this deadly place. He wore no armor, no helmet, no weapon, only simple dark clothes and his steady breathing. Around him, the arena shook with laughter. Many aliens pointed at him, shouting insults and jokes. They believed he was nothing more than entertainment. Something to crush, something to mock, something to forget. High above the arena platform stood the champion of the Varkesh Empire, General Lyra Varkesh, 8 feet tall. Armored in black and silver plates, eyes glowing like blue fire, her muscles looked like carved stone, her claws sharp enough to cut steel. She was the Empire's strongest warrior, feared across 7 star systems. But today she was smiling, a cold, confident smile. She pointed at Aiden, and her voice echoed through every speaker in the arena. "Human," she called. "I give you one chance to walk away if you fight me." "You will die," the crowd cheered. Some shouted, "Crush him." Others shouted, "Break the weakling." Aiden looked up at her slowly, his face calm, his heartbeat steady. He did not shout, he did not tremble. He simply said in a quiet voice, "I am not walking away." Lyra tilted her head, surprised by the lack of fear. "Very well," she said, raising her chin proudly. "Then hear my offer." Her voice dropped, cold and sharp. "If you defeat me, human, I am yours." The entire arena exploded with laughter and wild noise. Some aliens fell out of their seats. Others hit the rails while laughing. The idea of a human defeating Lyra was impossible. Insane, unbelievable, even Lyra thought so. But she enjoyed the drama. She enjoyed humiliating challengers before breaking them, but Aiden did not laugh. He did not blush. He did not react at all. He only nodded once and said, "I accept your challenge." Suddenly, the laughter died. A small wave of silence moved through the arena. Something about Aiden's voice felt wrong, too calm, too steady, too fearless. Even Lyra felt a strange chill run down her spine. The guards pushed Aiden into the center of the arena. Lyra jumped down from her platform. Landing with a ground-shaking boom, dust rose, lights flickered, and the entire stadium shook from her weight. Aiden did not flinch, he simply looked up at her. Like a man looking at a storm he had seen many times before. Lyra walked around him slowly, studying him, testing him. "You look fragile," she said. "Your bones will break fast." "You think so?" Aiden replied softly. His tone was polite, not mocking. Not afraid, simply calm. Lyra narrowed her eyes. She did not understand this human. Every human she had seen before shook like leaves in front of her. But this one stood like a silent tower, still unmoving, waiting. The announcer's voice filled the arena. Combatants ready. The crowd roared. The ground rumbled. Lights exploded in colors. Aiden took one step back, planting his feet. Lyra raised her claws, preparing her first strike. But then something happened. Something no one in the arena could explain. Aiden stepped closer to Lyra, leaned forward slightly, and whispered something only she could hear. Lyra's eyes widened instantly, her face changed. Her confidence cracked for a moment. The crowd saw her expression shift from pride to shock. Even fear, the strongest warrior in the Empire. Afraid of a human, the arena fell silent again. Everyone stared at Aiden. Who was he? What did he say? Why was the great Lyra Varkesh suddenly uneasy? Lyra forced her expression back to normal. She growled loudly to hide her confusion. "Begin," she commanded, more aggressively than before. Aiden nodded, his posture relaxed, his breathing slow. He looked like a man ready for a walk, not a battle. Lyra lifted her arm. Charging her first attack, the air shook around her. Pressure rising, power building, a single strike from her could destroy a metal door. crush boulders and break bones like glass. The audience screamed with excitement. They wanted blood. They wanted the human to be smashed into the sand. They wanted Lyra to win easily, but Aiden's hand stayed at his sides. His eyes focused, his face calm, as if he had seen stronger monsters before. Stronger than Lyra, stronger than this arena, stronger than anything this galaxy could throw at him. And just as Lyra stepped forward to unleash her first devastating blow, Aiden whispered again under his breath, so soft the crowd could not hear. So soft only Lyra heard. Her eyes widened once more. The strike stopped mid-air. The arena gasped. Lyra stared at him as if she finally understood something terrible. This human was not normal, not weak, not helpless. Something was hiding inside him. Something dangerous. Something powerful. Something she had never faced before. The challenge was no longer a joke. No longer entertainment. No longer easy. Lyra realized something chilling. This human might actually defeat her. And he was not holding back anymore. The arena froze. Every creature silent. The real battle had just begun. The fight that shook the arena. Lyra moved first. She exploded forward like a living missile. Claws tearing through the air, ground cracking under her feet. The force of her charge shook the arena walls, sending shockwaves through the audience stands. Every alien watching leaned forward, expecting the human to be crushed in the first hit. Aiden did not move. He simply breathed out, calm and slow. And Lyra's massive strike came down toward his skull like a falling mountain in the last possible moment. Aiden stepped to the side, just one small step. Effortless, smooth, quiet, the way a leaf slides away from wind. Lyra's claws slammed into the ground, cracking stone, sending dust flying high into the air. The crowd gasped. Impossible. Someone shouted. How did a human dodge that? Another yelled. Lyra lifted her claws, eyes narrowing. She attacked again. Faster this time. 2 strikes, then 3. Then 6 more. Her arms became a blur, her claws slicing the air like blades. Every strike strong enough to tear through armor. Every strike meant to kill. Aiden dodged all of them. He bent his body by inches, turned his neck at the perfect angle, stepped back only when he needed to. He looked like he was dancing, not fighting, not afraid. Just moving calmly, as if everything was predictable, as if he had already seen every attack before. Lyra roared with frustration. You are mocking me, she shouted. Aiden shook his head gently. No, he said softly. I am studying you. The crowd erupted again. Some laughed, thinking he was insane. Others whispered in fear. Something about the human felt wrong. He was too calm, too precise, too controlled. Lyra launched her strongest combo. A spinning strike that could crush steel beams. Her claws glowed from energy. Her muscles tensed like coiled wire. She moved at full speed. Her steps shaking the arena floor. Aiden's eyes sharpened. He leaned back, letting the attack pass inches from his face. Then, for the first time, he raised his hand. Not to punch, not to strike. Just a simple tap on Lyra's wrist. A soft, gentle touch. A touch so light it looked like he brushed away dust. But Lyra's body reacted like she had been hit by a meteor. The impact sent her flying backward across the arena. She rolled, skidded, and slammed into the stone wall so hard the entire stadium trembled. The crowd went dead silent. Not a single voice, not a single breath. Everyone stared at Aiden with wide eyes. Everyone stared at Lyra, trying to understand what just happened. Lyra slowly stood up, her chest rising and falling, her eyes burning with confusion and anger. That was not normal, she growled. Aiden did not reply. He only looked at her with calm, steady eyes. Lyra charged again. This time she didn't hold back anything. Her armor plates unlocked, releasing hidden power. Energy surged around her body, lightning-like cracks forming in the ground under her feet. She moved at full combat strength, a level no challenger had ever survived. But Aiden saw everything, every movement, every shift of her weight, every angle of her attack. He reacted before she even completed her motion. He ducked under her attack, slid behind her, and placed 2 fingers gently on her shoulder. Another soft tap. Another explosion of force. Lyra flew again, crashing into the ground so hard sand blasted into the air. She coughed, shocked, trying to understand the impossible. "How?" she whispered. "How can a human do this?" Aiden took a step forward. For the first time, he spoke with a colder tone. "You attacked me like a beast," he said quietly. "But you move like a soldier." Lyra froze. She did not know how he could read her fighting style so easily. No human had that ability. No human had survived this long. The alien crowd began to whisper, "Is he a mutant human? Is he a weapon? Is he enhanced?" Lyra clenched her claws. Fury rising again, she rushed Aiden with a roar loud enough to shake dust from the stands. Her attacks came from every direction. Left, right, forward, downward, spinning, lunging, slashing. Her speed became so fast that the air itself seemed to burn. Aiden did not dodge this time. Instead, he raised his arms and blocked. Yes, blocked. A human blocking the strongest blows of a Titan-class alien. His feet slid back slightly, but he did not fall. He held his ground, expression calm. Lyra pushed harder. Her claws sparked against his skin. Her energy blasts collided with his arms. Her power roared like thunder. Aiden whispered a single line. "I warned you." He stepped forward and struck once, a single punch to Lyra's chest. Asterisk. Not full strength, just enough to end the round. The hit sent Lyra flying so high, she almost hit the floating arena cameras. She crashed onto the sand. Coughing, gasping, struggling to breathe. The crowd screamed in pure shock. A human had knocked down the mightiest warrior in the Empire. Aiden walked toward her slowly, each step echoing like a drum. He stopped in front of her, offered his hand. "Stand," he said calmly. "The fight isn't over." Lyra stared at him. Her pride wounded, her mind shaken, her heart confused. This human was not prey. He was a predator. A silent one, a deadly one. And for the first time in her life, General Lyra Varkesh felt something she had never felt in combat. A mixture of fear, respect, and something deeper. This fight was no longer about winning. It was about understanding who or what Aiden truly was. The secret of the human Lyra pushed herself up from the ground. Her chest burned, her ribs ached, and her pride felt like it was breaking into pieces. Never in her life had she been knocked down this way. Not by a rival warrior. Not by another alien species, and never by a human. The crowd watched with silent fear. Many aliens blinked rapidly, trying to understand how a human, a creature they believed weak, was still standing. Not only standing, but controlling the entire fight. Lyra stared at Aiden. His stance was relaxed. Almost peaceful, no heavy breathing, no shaking hands, no fear in his eyes. He looked like someone who had been fighting all his life. Someone who was used to danger, used to pain, used to winning. "You move like a monster," Lyra said softly. "What are you?" Aiden didn't answer. Instead, he stepped back, creating distance. "Your people think humans are weak," he said quietly. "But that is only because you never met the right human." Lyra narrowed her eyes. She felt something strange in his voice, something heavy, something painful, as if his words carried a memory he didn't want to share. Aiden lifted one hand and pointed upward at the arena lights. "You see those lights?" he said. "Your empire makes them with energy cores, expensive machines. High technology?" Lyra didn't understand where he was going with this, but she nodded slowly. "Yes," Aiden continued, "on my homeworld. Our sun is 10 times brighter. Our storms destroy mountains. Our oceans can swallow cities. Our forests have animals that can kill in a single bite." Lyra frowned. "That is impossible," she whispered. Aiden shook his head. "No," he said. "Earth is a death world." The entire arena gasped. Whispers began to spread like fire. Some aliens stepped back in fear. Others stared at Aiden as if seeing him for the first time. A death world. A planet so dangerous that most species would never dare visit. A place where life itself tried to kill anything that lived on it. Aiden dropped his arms, letting them hang loosely at his sides. When humans evolved, he said, we did not evolve for comfort. We evolved to survive, in cold. In heat, in storms, in hunger, every day was a battle. Lyra felt her claws shaking. She had always believed humans were fragile because of their size and shape. But hearing this made her chest feel tight. This is why you dodged my attacks so easily, she whispered. This is why you can stand against my strength. Aiden didn't look proud. He looked sad. Toughness comes with a price, he said. We only grew strong because everything tried to kill us. Lyra looked down at the sand. She felt something she didn't want to admit. Respect. Real respect. Not because of strength alone, but because of the pain behind his strength. Aiden continued speaking, his voice quiet but steady. When I was 7, he said, I survived a storm that destroyed half my village when I was 10. I fought off a beast twice my size when I was 15. I lost people I loved to a wildfire that spread faster than we could run. Lyra listened, without blinking. Her heart beat slower, heavier. This human was raised in a world where death was normal, where suffering was part of everyday life, and when I became a soldier, Aiden said, the galaxy took everything from my people. My planet was invaded, our cities were burned, our families were taken. Lyra felt her breath catch. Her empire, the Varkash Empire, was one of the forces known for enslaving young species. Had they attacked Earth? She didn't know. But the pain in Aiden's eyes told the truth. He looked at her with a quiet sadness. My people didn't choose this war, he said. It was forced on us. Lyra clenched her fists. Her heart twisted. She felt guilt, something she had never felt in battle. She had always believed her empire fought to bring order, but maybe they had brought destruction instead. Aiden took a step closer. He didn't raise his fists. He didn't threaten her. He simply said, I did not come here to hurt you. I came here to survive. Lyra swallowed hard. And the whisper you said earlier, she asked. What did it mean? Aiden looked away for the first time in the entire fight. His eyes darkened. It meant, he said quietly, I recognized you. Lyra froze completely. Recognized me? She repeated, shocked. Aiden nodded slowly. You were the commander of the ship that raided my planet. You led the soldiers that burned our homes. Lyra's heart stopped. Her claws trembled. Her breath felt heavy like iron in her lungs. Aiden looked into her eyes, not with anger, not with hatred, but with something far more painful, Lyra, he whispered. You were the one who took my sister? The arena went silent. Silent like death. Silent like the end of a world. Lyra stared at him. Aiden stared back. Two warriors standing in the sand, one carrying guilt he never knew, the other carrying pain he never forgot. The fight had changed. It was no longer about strength or victory. It was now about truth, and truth was far more dangerous. The choice of the warrior Lyra could not breathe. Her legs felt weak, her claws felt cold, and the noise of the arena faded into a distant echo. Her mind replayed Aiden's words again and again. You were the one who took my sister. She remembered many raids, many battles, many missions. The Empire had trained her to obey, to follow orders without question, to see humans as nothing more than resources. But she had never thought about the faces of the families she tore apart. She had never cared to remember who she dragged away. Until now, Aiden stood before her in silence. Not striking, not shouting, not blaming. Just watching her with eyes full of old wounds. Wounds deeper than blades, wounds time could not heal. Lyra slowly lowered her head. The weight of what she had done pressed on her chest. She had faced monsters, assassins, armies, but she had never faced guilt, and guilt was crushing her harder than any enemy. Aiden, she whispered, her voice shaking, I did not know. Aiden looked at her, his eyes filled with something strange. Not hatred, not rage, but disappointment. Deep, painful disappointment. You didn't know, he said softly. But you never asked. Lyra's breath trembled. He was right. She had taken lives without caring. Taken families without thinking. Taken his sister without even remembering her face. The crowd didn't understand the silence. They shouted for the fight to continue. Finish him, Destroy the human. Crush him. But Lyra didn't hear them anymore. Her world had shrunk to the space between her and Aiden, a space filled with choices she never made, and consequences she never faced. Aiden stepped closer, his voice low. Steady, almost gentle, when you took her, he said. She was only 13. Lyra flinched like he had struck her. She remembered a mission 2 years ago. A human girl crying, fighting, screaming for her brother. Lyra had dragged her away without emotion, without hesitation, without mercy. She closed her eyes as the memory flooded back. She had been so cold, so blind, so loyal to an empire that never cared about the people it destroyed. Aiden continued speaking. Humans don't forget pain. We turn it into strength. Lyra slowly raised her head. I cannot undo what I did, she whispered. But I can choose what I do next. Aiden studied her carefully. His eyes softened just a little, not forgiving, but understanding. Lyra dropped her claws into the sand, a sign no warrior of her rank ever used. A sign of surrender, submission, not to Aiden's strength, but to truth, to responsibility. The arena erupted in shock. No one could believe what they were seeing. General Lyra Varkesh, undefeated champion of the Empire, surrendering to a human. The Empire officers in the VIP seats jumped to their feet. Lyra, stand up, they ordered. You disgrace the Empire. You will be punished. Asterisk, asterisk. But Lyra did not move. She whispered only one thing. I am tired of being their weapon. Aiden looked down at her. For the first time, he saw something real in her eyes, something human, pain, regret, and the beginning of change. What do you want? Lyra, he asked quietly. Lyra raised her head slowly. Her voice stronger, steadier, more sure. I want to find your sister, she said. And I want to fix what I broke. Aiden's heart tightened. Hope flashed in his eyes, a hope he had buried deep for years. But before he could speak, the Empire officers shouted, Guards, seize them both. Dozens of armored soldiers stormed the arena floor, weapons ready, energy shields activated. They surrounded Aiden and Lyra from all sides. The fight was no longer between two warriors. It was now against an empire. Lyra stepped in front of Aiden, her stance wide, claws ready. A protective gesture she'd never imagined she would make for a human. Aiden blinked, surprised. You would defend me, he whispered. Lyra did not look back. She growled softly. You showed me the truth. I can't go back to being blind. Aiden stepped beside her, their shoulders almost touching. He lowered his fists. I don't want to kill them, he said, but I won't let them take me. Lyra nodded. Then we fight together, she replied. The soldiers charged. The crowd screamed. The arena became chaos. Lyra roared and slammed into the first wave. Aiden moved like lightning, fast, silent, unstoppable, side by side, human and alien. Former enemies now fighting one empire, and as lasers flashed and metal clashed, Lyra realized something that shook her deeper than any attack. This human wasn't just strong, he wasn't just dangerous, he wasn't just different. He was someone worth following. Even if the whole galaxy called it betrayal, the human who changed the galaxy, the arena burned with chaos, energy blasts cut through the air. Soldiers shouted orders, and the crowd panicked as the battle spread across the sand, but in the center of the storm, Aiden and Lyra stood back to back, a human and an alien war champion, fighting side by side. A sight no one ever imagined. Lyra's claws slashed through energy shields like paper. Aiden moved with impossible speed, dodging lasers and disarming soldiers with quick, quiet strikes. The Empire's forces kept coming, their numbers endless, their orders simple. Capture the human, kill Lyra. If she resisted, Aiden blocked a strike aimed at Lyra's back. His arm absorbed the blow like stone. You okay? He asked without looking. Lyra growled, her voice firm and focused. I've never been more awake, but she knew the truth. They couldn't hold the arena forever. The Empire had thousands of soldiers, warships above the city, and commanders who would rather destroy the whole arena than let a human rebel escape. Aiden ducked under a blade and swept a soldier's legs. We need a way out, he said calmly. Lyra nodded. There's a maintenance gate behind the arena wall, she replied. But we'll never reach it like this. Aiden turned to her. Then we make them hesitate, he said. Lyra frowned, confused. Hesitate how Aiden stepped forward. He planted his foot into the sand, took a deep breath, and focused. Lyra recognized the stance instantly. A stance she had seen only once when he launched her across the arena with a single strike. Aiden, she whispered, that attack. You can't control it fully. Aiden's jaw tightened. That's why they'll hesitate, he said quietly. He dug his foot deeper into the sand and lifted his fist slowly. Soldiers froze. Even the commanders watching from above leaned back in sudden fear. They had seen what his soft taps could do if he used his full power. The arena might not survive. Energy sparked around Aiden's arm. The ground cracked beneath his feet as if the planet itself feared what he was about to unleash. Lyra stepped beside him. The Empire will shoot to kill if you do this, she warned. Aiden didn't look away from the soldiers. I'm not doing it to kill them, he said. I'm doing it to buy us seconds. He brought his fist back. Every soldier raised their shields. Every blaster pointed at him. Every alien in the audience held their breath. Then Aiden slammed his fist into the sand. Not forward, not toward the soldiers, but downward. The arena exploded. A wave of energy burst across the ground, sending soldiers flying like leaves in a storm. Dust shot into the air. Lights shattered. The arena walls cracked. The shockwave echoed like thunder in every direction. Lyra shielded her face with her arm, barely keeping her balance. The soldiers hit the ground groaning, disoriented, scattered. The entire arena shook, as if an earthquake had struck. That's our seconds, Aiden said. Move. Lyra didn't hesitate. She grabbed Aiden's arm and sprinted toward the cracked wall. He kicked the weakened stone once, and it shattered open. Revealing a dark maintenance tunnel beyond, they ran. The tunnel was narrow, cold, and filled with old wires and pipes. Behind them, the sound of soldiers regaining their footing echoed like a distant storm. Above them, alarms wailed as warships began to lock onto the arena. Lyra panted, They'll track us. Aiden nodded, They will. But we keep moving, he added, because we don't have a choice. Lyra glanced at him. Aiden, she whispered, what will you do? After this, Aiden didn't answer for a long moment. His eyes were focused forward, but his mind was far away. When you took my sister, he said quietly. You didn't just capture her, you took everything from me. Lyra lowered her gaze. I know, she said. And I will help you find her. Aiden breathed out slowly. Then that's what we do, he said. We find her, and after that, Lyra asked gently, what happens to us? Aiden finally looked at her, and for the first time, there was no anger in his eyes, no coldness. Only honesty that depends on the choices you make, he said. But you already made the first one. Lyra stopped running for one heartbeat. The echo of his words hit her harder than any strike. She had fought for an empire her whole life. Now she was running from it, with someone she once hurt. Yet someone who still chose to trust her. Aiden offered his hand, a simple gesture. A new beginning. Lyra took it, her claws closing around his fingers. Then let's make the next choice together. She said. Behind them, warships thundered overhead. Searchlights cut through the darkness. The galaxy was already hunting them. But for the first time in her life, Lyra didn't feel alone. And for the first time since losing his sister, Aiden felt hope. Two warriors, one human, one alien, both bound by pain, truth, and a promise. Their story was no longer a fight in an arena. It was the beginning of a rebellion, the kind that changes galaxies, the kind that creates legends, and somewhere far away, a young human girl waited in chains, unaware that her brother and the warrior who once took her were coming to bring her home together. ***.